Happy Thursday, Academy. Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast, where we talk about happiness, success, full potential, using what is your God-given gift, that seed that is in you by nature, that you were born with, to cultivate the life that you desire. And your desires are a signal of your potential. Your desires are the easiest and most obvious signals of your potential. If you overthink that, if you underthink that, if you are cynical about that, that is the recipe to end up into chaos, confusion, and sort of stopping and starting, living your life, half of your life getting into problems, half of your life getting out of problems. You have to be able to simplify your process. And unless you can actually believe in something and commit to it, then you will never see a better life. You will never understand how to actually make something happen for yourself. Because anything that is worthwhile, anything that is going to be a excellent achievement, any success that is going to be had, that is worthwhile having, is going to come from some form of pressure, toil, hard work, diligent process. That's it. I didn't create that. That's not my opinion. That's just the way nature and the world works from the get, from day one, from anything you can think of. If you think of how creation came to bear, if you think of how a child is born, even if you don't believe in creation and all that stuff, but just look at the process through which the human life, which is the greatest thing on the planet. Just think of the process through which the human life come to existence. Just think of that whole process. I mean, why is it that the sperm doesn't meet the egg and the baby is born in 2 weeks and it's out and running and walking and speaking? There's no, real reason why that couldn't be. But everything from that sperm fertilizing the egg to a child becoming mature and moving around and being able to function as an independent human being is a process. The child isn't born walking, the child wasn't born talking, the child wasn't born doing none of that stuff. The child has to go through a process. Now, such is all achievements, such is all successes. It has to go through a process. And unless you commit to that process and time and effort is invested in that process, you will live your life and never see great results and achievement. And this morning I want to talk about that very thing, why most people never see great results and achievement. Because everybody's committed. Everybody, for the most part, every ambitious person is committed. And I make the distinction for you. When we were growing up, ambition was the thing you have when you wanted to be productive, when you want to live a decent life, meaning you want to work and earn and do something. Pretty much, there's a level of ambition that most people want, the majority of people want. They want to be able to, take care of themselves for the most part, be independent to an extent, or to some extent, to a great extent. People want that. And people are committed to that, especially the middle class who were born in probably since the late 70s into the 80s and 90s. We were raised on ambition, meaning that, look, go out there, get a good education, try to get to college, or even if you don't get to college, try to learn a skill. If you have this aptitude for the skill, learn the skill, work hard, get a house, get a family, married, have kids, save for your retirement, put some money in the bank, and do whatever form of investment you can do, and push yourself and work hard until you're bent over to send your kids to school, and you are successful. Build a big house, make it look pretty on the hill, and you're successful. That's it. It's okay. That's how we were raised. So if you are able to do that or come close to that, you were labeled as hardworking and having ambition. Now, as time changes, as things move, things become better. So naturally, when things become better, we want better as human beings. So if we know that there's something to clean the dishes for us, we aspire to get that thing that's going to help us to clean the dishes. If we know that instead of having the option of watching 3 channels on TV, we can watch 25, we are going to naturally gravitate towards bringing ourselves to having the option of watching 25 channels on TV. That's how we are as human beings. We call it hedonistic adaptation, meaning that the thing that you want so bad, as soon as you get it, you adapt to it and you're ready to have the next level of things. That is the human nature for the most part, generally speaking. Now, what we as human beings, the majority of us, aspire for, we are committed. That's why I say everybody's committed. Everybody's committed. Everybody can work hard. Everybody can do more. But what we have done because of our conditioning and because of common impulses and indiscipline and an incorrect belief system that we have either been taught or we have made the logical conclusion for ourselves, however flawed that logic is, what we are tied to in our minds is the idea that we have limits, that some people were born, or some people get some fantastic opportunity, or some people is blessed with some unique abilities to go beyond a certain limit, while some people are able to just get into the normal categories. What do I mean by that? Well, people have tenacity, people have discipline, people are committed, people have the grit to bring themselves to average. What do I mean? People want only to get into the majority or to maintain their majority status. What do I mean? The people who are poor, the people who come from poor beginnings, they look at the middle class and they believe they can get there because that is everywhere. They are sold on that. Right through school, they are indoctrinated on you can get here. To the middle class. What do I mean by middle class? You can get a mortgage, you can get a car, and you can have a family, and you can get a job, and you can get promotion, you can be promoted, and you can look successful, meaning you can have the regular trappings of the middle class. And that looks so rosy and nice and sustainable when you're not there. And even when you get there, there is a teaching and a belief system that this is enough, this is good, and there is no other way out, because that next level is coveted, it is preserved, it is only for. So if you manage to, if you realize that academics is your only strong suit, and you're not an entertainer, you're not an athlete, you now needs to become obsessed and focused on climbing the corporate ladder. That's it. There's nothing else for you to do. There's nothing else that you can do. That's what is being taught. That's what is being reinforced. That's what is being indoctrinated into the students and the kids who go to school. So what you find is that people believe that they can. So whatever it takes to get the car, to get the house, to get the education, to get that promotion, people find themselves doing it. But then when they get there, something caps them out. The whole system and the whole conditioning and media and socialization cap them out. Because first of all, they get there and they take on the wrong mindset. They're in debt. They're heavily consumeristic, if there's such a word. So they consume more than they produce. And they have bounded themselves to their condition so much that they have now become robots to that position that they have found themselves in. Oh, well, I can't do that because I have debt. Oh, I can't do that because I have a mortgage. Oh, I can't do that because I have the kids to take care of. Oh, I can't do that because I'm too old. Oh, I can't do that because I didn't learn that in school. And they have used all the things that they have taken on themselves because of how they've been programmed and because of what the normal people and the clique and the social circle is doing. They have bounded themselves to reasons why they can't. So, in more practical ways, instead of us going out there and, for example, using any sum that we have amassed to get ourselves a car at a cash price, decent car. We only drive 3, 4, 5 miles to work. We get and we park it for 10 hours and we use it for the whole week. We use it for 5 hours. Half an hour to work, half an hour back, maybe down to the store, maybe out to the malls, and we have 10 hours of usage. So we use something for 10 hours and we're using half our salaries to maintain that thing. So we get into a car loan that the dealer tells us is this car is $25,000 and your APR, your interest rate is 15 or 20%. And we don't realize that's 20% over 3 years takes us to something like 60%. So we're now paying $35,000, $40,000 over a 3-year period for the car. Forget that, nobody worries about that. This is the Mercedes-Benz, this is a BMW. We got to get this car so we can fit in. So we get that car. And we do the same thing with our furnitures, we do the same thing with our appliances, we do the same thing with our phones, we do the same thing with our clothing these days. And what we have done, we have attached a long line of debt to ourselves. And then we use that as a valid excuse for why we can't start a business, invest in something, go do a course or training in some skill set that could get a side hustle, or to get a peel of real estate so we could get into the real estate stuff or the Airbnb or anything else that is outside of a paycheck that we wait on. So the point I'm trying to make is that we are committed only, we are dedicated only, and we see our potential only to the next best level as much as it matches the norm, the masses. So there's a rush for the middle class. There's everybody believing that they can hit middle class. There's everybody hunting and gunning and pushing for middle class. 6 figures, 6 figures, 6 figures. And everybody has a 6-figure middle class status in their heads. And what we have found, what is evident, or what is the fact is, the middle class is miserable, because 85 to 90% of people say that they are unsatisfied and unhappy with their jobs. They're dissatisfied and unhappy with their jobs. So people are waking up, spending 8, 10, 12 hours doing something, spending 1/3 of their lives doing something that they hate. For what? To fit in. Why? Because they believe that they can do no better. Because something in society and in their socialization has instilled in them that nothing better can happen. They can do no better. And Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and LeBron James and Beyonce and Jay-Z and Jeff Bezos are the outliers. And these are guys who are either have the opportunity, these big companies and these so influencers and everything else. These guys have something that they don't. These guys have an opportunity. These guys have a talent. These guys have something else that they don't have. And you could not get them to say, stop, wait, what is going on here? What is the meaning of my life? Why am I doing this? Where is my life going? What's going to happen to me? Why am I unhappy? Who is responsible for my own happiness? How can I change this? Is there anybody at my level or who started way below me or beneath me who is crushing this? Is there anybody who knows much less than me who is doing this? Is there a way that I can get paid beyond what my job is paying me for the things that I'm doing at my job or for the things that I'm passionate at? They would never stop to ask that question. And on the flip side of the coin, there is a boatload of people who have stopped to ask that questions, who have totally revolutionized their life because they believe in themselves and they put in the time, effort, and money and investment into themselves to take themselves to another level, to fix these questions that they have. But people are committed only, and people only have a can-do attitude to getting a car, a mortgage, and the middle class status. And people move the mountains to get to that. If you hear the stories of where people come from to get to the middle class, it would amaze you. And they're unwilling to do the same amount of work to get themselves out of the middle class and to a happier life. So people think that the only thing they can do is what the academic system dictates for them. And the only way they can do it is unless they attach themselves to some corporation or somebody who has a higher degree and more resources and a big building to earn the means of their subsistence. And that belief system have people unhappy. If you love it, if it's you, if you're doing it, not knocking you. But there is a set of people who believe in their spirit that there is a better way. There's a set of people who, by the dictates of their purpose and their desires, believe that this cannot be my life. If you are one of those people, then unless you choose to follow that belief and do something about it, you will live a miserable life, and you'll turn out at the end of your life in a pile of regrets, which will take many years off your life, of your existence. The baseline here is that there's absolutely no limits on the human potential. Absolutely none. In 1926, Nikola Tesla said that the time will come. 1926, at least 60, 70 years from the size cell phone that we have now. He sat there and said that, look, one day we will have an instrument in our top pockets that could fit in our coat pockets that we could use to talk to anybody anywhere in the world. And we'll live to see that happen. The technology in your cell phone is a higher level of technology than the technology that put Neil Armstrong on the moon. Human potential. Human potential. Wrap your head around that. And as you know, my message, my personal development mantra, my point, my go-to, my punchline is that the first thing that you have to accept is that all human beings have unlimited potentials. in them. That's the first thing. And the second thing to admit is that you are a human being. Unconditional. No human being and you. No human being but you are. No human being except that. Human beings have unlimited potential. You are a human being. Therefore, what any other human being can do in an area, their area, because we all have our areas, you can do in your area. Because I am sure you want the life of LeBron James, Beyonce, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, but you don't necessarily want to do what they're doing. But this is the time and age when you can get the life that they have doing your thing. But you just need to commit and have a can-do attitude and stop signing up and listening to and subscribing to this marketing overnight. Right now we can do it. We got this thing done in 2 days, six figures in 6 weeks, and all that shortcut microwave overnight stuff. And align yourself with the fundamental principles and get on out there and build it. That's what you have to do. Build out your deal. It will happen. If you don't create it, it's not going to happen. You need to create it. That's it. So if you believe you can create it and you're committed to creating it, it will come to fruition. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. You wake up every day and you weather the storm. You fight the war, you fight the battle, and you are determined. As Martin said, ceaseless struggle. A valiant attitude to seize success from inhospitable circumstances is the price to be paid for all great achievement. Thank you guys. Always a pleasure. You can do. Take care.